Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and today we're going to show you in depth about how we feed our ball python collection, how we track it, really why we don't like the computers. I know a lot of guys use computer spreadsheets and this and that and little fancy scan things with their phone, and maybe it's because, oh God, I hate to say this, but I am about 12 months away from being 40, but I like pen and paper. I think pen and paper has a lot of advantages over everything else. And I'm going to show you today why and exactly how we do this. So first of all, we have these data sheets. They're just simple sheets. And you can see on like this one here, we just go in order. So these sheets are just kind of matched up to the animals. This is of course Super Pastel Xanthic, 180601, 180601. So you can see each time it's fed, circle with a line means it didn't. Of course it's a growing male. So I mean you can kind of see it's been spotty, hit and miss. You know, and you can also see what's been eating. Pups was doing great, then missed a few, then ate one, then started to miss. So we tried mouse, and ate a few mouse, tried to go back to pups. It wasn't happening. These were in shed, so I can mark it. This was the time it was in shed, so no worries on that. And then we went back to mice and it's eating a mouse again. So we can really kind of track what each animal's eating and what we need to change. And sometimes we'll find an animal, because you're like, man, this seems like this thing has eaten in a long time. So for example, our buddy Helios, I'm not going to pull him out and show him. There's a reason why I'm not. He looks fine. You'll actually see him probably when we do the feeding portion. But he hadn't eaten in a really long time. So we realized, okay, let's try something different. It didn't work. Let's try something different. It didn't work. So what we ended up having to do was use an old trick that I learned from, I want to say, a forum or an article a long time ago written by JKR. And that is, don't just clean the tub if you're having problems and whatnot. That's a great place to start. But sometimes move the tub. So we had Helios located somewhere over in this region. I don't remember exactly where now. And when I cleaned tubs, I moved him to a brand new tub. So he changed locations in the rack. What that's going to cause is micro changes in the environment, because obviously this is going to be maybe a little warmer, a little cooler than a different one. Nothing's the exact same. So by doing that, that alone, plus using an ASF, which we'd already tried, spurred him into eating. And we're not sitting there going, why is my snake not eating, and getting more and more worried. As a matter of fact, we hadn't even been able to use him in our breeding program yet this year because of that. But I'm hoping he's going to start feeding really good for us now, and we'll get right back on the train. But this allows us to track everything, know what's eating. You can see this pastel-like, which one of our little projects is doing really well. You know, here's Helios's. You can tell I'm talking about from August 29th when we started this. He didn't eat at all. And then bam, ASF. You could see it said no, 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 no. So moving the rack helped there. You know, you can kind of just see how everybody's doing. This one eats really, really well. So, I mean, it's just a really good way to track what's going on with your animals. You know, blood python, go figure, and know exactly what's happening, what they're eating, when they're eating, how they're eating. It's not all here. I also, if I want to look at that, I don't have to go, well, deek, flip through. It's right there. It's literally right the hell there. The other advantage, which you're going to see when we go to feed, is as we put them in, so when we put a rat in the Super Pastel Xanthic male, we'll mark it. And then we go back through everything and mark the results. So it ensures that we're checking every single tub and making sure we're not leaving a live food item in with the snake. Whenever you see those horrible, horrible pictures of live feeds gone wrong and a snake literally chewed all up, I'm not talking a single bite that's easy to take care of. I'm talking a really chewed up snake and a really messed up snake. I can tell you what's happened every single time is somebody has put a live rat in there, they've closed it, they've gone off, and they've forgotten about it. And when you do that, then you run that risk of really bad things happening. This ensures that you don't have that happen, or it really, really, really lowers the chance of it happening. Things are still possible. Mistakes can be made. I can tell you I've never once, never, ever, 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 although what I can find, had a snake chewed up severely by a rat in all the time I've been feeding live, which is not my entire career. We have gone back and forth for various reasons. So, Kurt, any questions before we just start feeding these things?
No.
All right, guys, let's get to it. We're going to put this camera on a stand, and Kurt and I are going to get to work, and we're going to show you exactly how we do this as a team. It's going to take us a lot longer than the video shows, though. All right, guys, we've gone through, we've fed everything. You kind of watched it in high speed. Then what you didn't see is we stepped away for a while. We worked on some other racks, and then we come back. So it's been a bit. Now we're going to come back, and we're going to check these. We're going to see how we did. We're going to show you how we log things. We're not going to do them all for you. That'd get really boring, and plus, it's better with two people to write and do that. We'll start here, 180601, a super pastel xanthic male. And as you can see, the mouse, it did not eat. So we'll throw that back in there. And the next thing you do is you come over here to your sheets, right? We just simply, as you can see, it ate a mouse last week. It's been kind of hit and miss over this week. And if you look, it ate really good, missed a few, took one, missed a bunch, ate pretty good, missed a few, shed, missed one, ate, missed one. So it's just kind of doing what, males will do this time of year sometimes. So then we just set this sheet to the side and we go on to the next one. That's kind of how this works, because 170402, this is one of our weird projects. You can see that one did not eat either. So what we'll do is simply pull that rodent out of there. And anytime they don't eat, get in there. I always kind of like to take a second and look at their sheet again to see what's going on with them. This one is kind of a case of that wall. You know what's going on when you keep these, because you can see, and we did pretty good all through there. A little bit of miss, took one, a little bit of miss. We're taking one sporadically, not very consistent right now. And she is a female that has taken a little while. She's a 17. We'd like to be breeding her this year. She may take an extra year to get there, but she's kind of right there at that cusp. I know people who would breed her at that size. We're not one of them. We want them to be a little bit bigger. So we go on to Helios. We see how he did. Hey, look, good news. So that is gone. So Helios ate that, which is really, really awesome. And here is, again, part of why this tracking is so important, because I can come to Helios. So now we don't have to do anything, we don't have to circle, but you can look at his sheet and how terrible it was going. So we took some different measures, we tried different things along the way. Here's where we relocated the tub, a la JKR advice from way back in the day, and bam, feed. So, about let's say 20, I relocated at 125, we got a feed, now 131, we got a feed. So that snake is, kind of back on the good track, eating good, showing great interest. Other option was going to be if it didn't eat, we were going to go to a hide for it. It's never really needed one, but that would have been the next option. So those are some of the things you can do to get your snake back on food. Come check this one. She did not eat. We'll pull that out, throw that in there. And again, this is a snake that, usually eats pretty good. This one, it killed it, but then it didn't eat it, so that happens. That's the other thing I like about papers. When you have something kind of weird happen, it's easy to mark so you know what's going on. Oh yeah. This one here ate really well. And again, this is another thing too. When you write information down, it tends to make you know your snake. So I can show you some on this snake too. It ate really great, right? Then about here, it kind of stopped and wasn't eating really good. Well, then I moved it. I moved it because when it wasn't eating so good, it was in one of these tubs. It just outgrown it. This is one that we moved up in size because at the time it was ready, and when we moved up in size, it ate better. So sometimes more size is going to help if it's outgrown its tub. This is one of my favorite snakes, 1606. What this is, oh my God, you took a huge massive poop. I'll have to get that when we're off camera. What this is of course a calabi. I love calabis. You guys know I like spider. Yeah, it's controversial. Truth be told, I'm not going to get into that anymore. I just don't give a shit. So I like it. Some of them are like, oh my God, you keep a spider, you're evil. Yeah, eat my ass. So we do keep a lot of spider, and that one eats great. Let me show you those spiders. Terrible, huh? That's the best sheet you guys have seen. It did skip two here. We went to a smaller size, got it back rolling. 8-inch shed, we're back on smalls. So, yeah. Man, them non-eating spiders, what the hell are we gonna do with those? So then we'll get to the best page that we have, which is this guy's here. As you can see, he ate. Of course, that is a blood python, huh, buddy? How you doing? Ooh, there you are. He will tune me up if he gets a chance. That guy has not missed a meal since we got him here. He was touch and go by the time we got him home. He was in pretty bad shape coming back from the show, but we really got him rolling well. Brings us to our banana female. Now she did not eat. And well, this is considered a small. It's kind of a pretty good size small. So, and again, your sheets tell you the story, right? So you need to go ahead and mark that. So she kind of goes on and off, and she's kind of that one that's also at that cusp that we'd like to breed this year. And if we can get her taking some meals, we likely can. So what we're going to do with these girls that are on the cusp when we come back next week, look and be, hey, they've missed 3 weeks, is we'll go with something like a mouse, trying to get that last few hundred grams on there. She's about, I think, 1350, 1400 right now. Again, a lot of people would breed that. I like my girls to be 1500, gives them a little more time. So gets us onto our GHI. It did not eat either. Ah, you pain in my butt. It could use a little more water. But we'll come back through here tomorrow. I'll recheck everything just to make sure that, you know, there's nothing left that was killed. And she's been kind of sporadic as well. You know, so we might go to like something else for her to eat too. This guy is a terrible eater, but he actually ate this week. Good for you, buddy.
What was that?
That was Odin, and he ate a pup.
And
Odin is a banana male. I guess I should say that. He's never been one of our best feeders. I mean, the sheep will show you that. He'll go in spurts. But he eats enough to keep doing well, so he's doing fine. We'll move on to the spider clown. This will be the last one we do. Then we're going to shut the camera off and check the rest of them. So before we do that, I'll kind of give you a rundown of how my day looks tomorrow. Yeah, you ate too. Good girl. So she ate a small. Wait a minute. That's why you also have to check, because it says pastel like now. So somewhere, Kurt. Oh, you know what? I went down a row. Again, that's why your paper tells you the story, because when you're talking, it's easy to miss. So this is why we do this right here, because what would have happened just now had I not had paper and wasn't double checking myself, I would have went from Odin to here, and then my next one would have been here. That means we would have accidentally skipped this snake, this snake, this snake, and we could have left rats in with the tub. So I promise you that wasn't a setup. We'll go ahead and finish because we wanted to do half. This was our other pastel-like one. She ate really good, really good. And that was a small. And then we get to our freeway pastel. You did not eat. And this is a snake too that is kind of at that. She's an angry snake. I don't want to pull you all the way out, but I want to get that ASF out of there. And I'll kind of show you what I mean when you start to see that 1,000-gram wall. That's why we were going with an ASF, trying to get something to tempt her. We might try tossing a hide, and we might try a trouble relocation for her. When we first got her, and over here, she ate really good until about November. Then from November, she hasn't been eating really good, or not much at all. But that is also partly because of she's at that 1,000-gram wall. I mean, that's where she is. So it's unfortunate, but they do kind of hit that dry spell. That'll get us to my boy Zeus. Zeusy, you didn't eat. Why you no eat? I did offer him a pretty good sized meal this week. He always gets spoiled. Now Zeus is in the middle of breeding season, so you can see he was eating really good. Notice how Kurt spells his name. It's one of those little jokes. It's Z-U-S. He just does that to screw with me. But he was eating really, really good. We got into our breeding season, about the end of October. He really got rolling hard in November, and he's been more interested in girls since. That's perfectly fine. He's locking 3 girls. His size is good, so it's nothing I need to be concerned with. And that brings us to the spider clown, which we already checked, and she ate an ASF. But as you can see, the reason for the paper trail, I mean, if I was scanning tubs, guys, I would have missed those. Then I'd have come back tomorrow and I'd have had a possibility of chewed snakes. We came up with this system, excuse me, I hate this season. We came up with this system not because we're geniuses, well, maybe. We came up with this system because we made mistakes. Now, I did say earlier in the video that I never had a snake chewed up by a rat, and that's very, very true. I'm not going to tell you I've never accidentally left a rat in with a snake. I have. That's why you come back the next day and you check everything. It doesn't happen anymore. I can tell you that. I haven't done that in quite some time. But what we would find is as your collection expands, you're going to find this as well. Things change. What you did at one point in time and worked really well for you may not work as well anymore. So you have to adapt and overcome the difficulty of a larger collection or a smaller collection, whatever it may be that you're dealing with in life. And we have found that this way prevents us from making mistakes. It's not the quickest way. It's not the most fun way. Yeah, it's writing pen and paper, which is like, old school. But it makes you check every single tub because you're going in an order and the paper goes in an order. And it forces you to have that check and balance. So for us, it's been a really good way to prevent our snakes from being injured. not because we're perfect. We've made those mistakes. We've just been lucky. Other people haven't been as lucky. So that's the thing too in this hobby, I would say. You're going to screw up. You're going to make mistakes. And anybody that says, well, I've never made a mistake, they're a lying piece of shit. Okay? Or they have one snake and they've only had it for 2 weeks and they're screwing it all up. They're just too dumb to fucking realize it. That's possible too. As a matter of fact, I think that's about half of Facebook, or 3/4. But the key is when you make a mistake and when you leave a rodent in a tub or whatever it is you may do, don't just go, oh man, I shouldn't do that, and continue to use the same method. Adapt and change and overcome. Find why you made the mistake, correct it at the beginning, and you're going to find making yourself a better keeper and a better breeder. Kurt, anything you want to add about how we feed our snakes?
So you don't recommend leaving feed items in overnight?
That's not exactly true. I don't recommend leaving feed items in overnight that can hurt a snake. You should never, ever, 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 ever leave a weaned rat and up in the tub, okay? If it's able to fight and fend for itself with a ball python. I've got a mouse right now that's been with a rattlesnake for quite some time. I don't have to worry about that mouse hurting that rattlesnake. The rattlesnake's defense is going to be, hey man, fuck you buddy, and it's going to kill it. Worst case scenario. I'd rather eat it, but it is what it is. It's a new snake. But with the ball python, anything that could possibly hurt the ball python, you can't leave in. Its natural instinct is going to be to hide its head, curl up into the snake version of a roly-poly, and they will literally let that item just chew on them while trying to preserve their brain and nervous system. The injuries can be quite severe and can kill them. So yeah, I don't recommend that. Now, there are times when you're starting babies, especially, where I will leave prey items in, sometimes for several days. And you're talking things like a small pinky or a little hopper mouse that can attack the snake. And you're doing that to try to tempt that snake to eat. And a lot of times I found that to be very successful in getting stubborn babies started. So I wouldn't say I don't recommend leaving prey items in overnight. I know that's a blanket rule that people like to use. I think that's a very good rule when you're talking adults. It's not such a good rule when you're talking babies, as long as you're using the right kind of item. Anything else you want to add, Kurt?
No.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. It's how we feed. See you next time.